Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodger, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this morning is a man who just got done being towed around behind a giant airship and a glider barge thing, Jacob.
Why, thank you. And I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man who just had to go wake up a warrior for some stinking reason. Welcome, Drew.
I just had to see what the thing was.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, it didn't last long.
No, it
But
didn't.
anyway, how are you doing this morning, Jacob?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good. Financially not feeling so hot, but, yeah, I had to go put my car in the shop.
Uh-huh.
And, it was one of these, it wasn't the, like, down my car's on the side of the road and it won't drive. It was making a sound. It was whining. And
Should have offered it some cheese.
yeah, or a biscuit.
Yes.
But yeah, so I put the car in the shop and it was like, okay, it's got to be this, or this. And so my mechanic says, it's this. Oh, it's going to cost you about $500 to get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So this goes from one day to another. Saturday, apparently they ordered the wrong part. And so I have to wait until Monday to get the part put on. And so the part gets put on. I get off work, walk down there. He's got the part on. It's driving, but there's still a hum. There's still a... because it's the power steering pump.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay. So there's still a whine. Like, and then he's talking about, it could be this, it could be this. So there's still a whine. Be like, it fixed part of it. But apparently there's a bigger issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, hopefully this little whine kind of, solves itself out. Maybe it's something in the line, maybe it's air, and hopefully it resolves itself, because I don't want to spend that much money again.
I understand.
Not for a while, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's been pretty good. I went and actually saw the church we go to. They were doing a men's Monday night football gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so much fun. It was Cowboys versus the Giants, and it was just fun. It was a absolute...
Which apparently got upset by a cat.
Yes! That was hysterical. Apparently a little black cat shows up on the field. Now, mind you, this is in New York. So he's not a big mega cat. He's a pretty big little black cat. But he's just there in the middle of a play, and this cat streaks across the field right in front of the Giants' home line, and starts walking and running, and it's the most entertaining thing on the planet. And so yeah, it was a great time, and plus the Cowboys won, so woohoo! So yeah, that's been my week. How's yours?
My week was very good. If y'all remember, we had recorded throughout most of October ahead of time because I was going to be gone last week.
We're finally caught up.
Yes. I was gone last week. I was gone up to the Broken Bow area of southeast Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went up to Queen Wilhelmina, which is on top of, I believe, Rich Mountain.
Yeah.
Spent a couple days there.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back, spent another night in Broken Bow, and then came on home.
Gotcha.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
We were in the clouds most of the day. We were on top of the mountain. Which is an interesting experience.
Yeah.
When you realize, wait a minute, that's not dew I'm seeing falling anymore. That's rain falling 2 inches. Because you're sitting there going, wait a minute, that's a little darker than it was before. That's rain, and it's only falling 2 inches till it hits the ground. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And,
so, question, be like, ever since you're so high, high up, be like, how was the breathing?
It's not that high.
Oh, okay.
We were...
it's not Utah.
No, this is not... Yeah, this is the mountains there in the southeastern part of Oklahoma and the western part of Arkansas are technically a part of the Appalachian mountain range.
Yeah.
Just the far southwestern part of it.
Okay.
Which is shrinking while the Rocky Mountains are growing.
Weird.
Well, it's... If you believe the liberal geologists, it's because the Appalachian Mountains rose first. They're not rising anymore, and as they're being eroded, that's why they're shrinking. Whilst the Rocky Mountains are still volcanic activity pushing it up, which is why you have the Yellowstone supervolcano over there too. So that's why.
Gotcha.
But we were only, I think. What did it say? 6,000 feet? No. I have to double check. I think it's 6 to 7,000 feet above sea level. So it's not even as high as Denver.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when we checked it, it was like, when we were heading up there, my grandma asked at one point, what's the highest point in Oklahoma? Because we were in Oklahoma at this point, and then before we traveled east over there, and my mom looked it up on her phone because I was driving, and it's the part there above Oklahoma, right above the panhandle of Texas.
Yeah,
because that's how far their land rises from there, to there from here. So I said, okay, what's the highest peak? Okay, that's different. That's over here.
That's a different.
That's the difference in the heights.
Oh, okay.
Is the highest point is on flatland. And we were technically in mountains, so it wasn't. We're not that. The air was fine.
Oh,
it was just wet and humid and cloudy. I did get some pictures, but I have not had a chance to run them through Photoshop to do little cleanup and 1 or 2 HDR shots. So those will be up on the photo bin. I'm hoping by the end of the week. So keep an eye out for that. Gotcha. Yeah, we had a good time.
That's good.
Kind of to jump into what we've been watching this week, before we left, which kind of remember this is all before Halloween, me and my dad sat down for our semi-yearly, it's not as much yearly anymore now that I no longer live there, but our regular viewing of Young Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
And of course we quoted the whole thing throughout the entire movie because we've seen it enough times.
Surprise.
And every time we watch it, we catch something new in it. For instance, this was the first time, I think, what was it we caught this time? I don't remember. Now I don't remember. But anyway, we had a good time watching that. And then also I watched Hocus Pocus on Halloween night itself because Hocus Pocus is not a regular Halloween viewing for me because I only saw it last year for the first time. And so I watched it again this year because it was on my mind. It's like, man, I wish Disney Plus was already up because then I could just watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can rent it still from Amazon. So I go over to Amazon. Oh, look, it's there. Okay, watching this tonight.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus is an amazing film.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And then as I was editing Lupin to get it put up Saturday morning, I caught a bug of sorts.
Ew.
A good kind of bug. It was... The question popped into my mind. I wonder if where I can watch the anime. The original show.
Okay.
So I did some searching. Found out Crunchyroll has it. Which means you can also watch it on Verve.
Gotcha.
And I have watched the first 3 episodes of Lupin the Third, Part 1. That they call it Part 1 to just differentiate it from the other series.
I gotcha.
It is, now, admittedly, it is subtitled only. I cannot find a dub of it anywhere, so fair warning there. But I watched that. It was enjoyable. It's funny watching Fujiko trick Lupin and Jigen. As she, tricks them so she can get what she wants. Because she's always, outsmarting them to get what she wants above them.
Yeah, of course.
And apparently this is before Goemon joins the crew. So, I enjoyed that. That was fun. Then I also started my rewatch of Star Wars with Rogue One. So I'm working my way through that. And then last but not least, I watched Spider-Man Homecoming. I will explain why I watched Spider-Man Homecoming at a later date. Because I think it's got about 2 weeks before that becomes relevant to most people.
Okay.
And then technically I also watched Gravity, but once again that will also be relevant for a later date.
Yes, that will.
So, now that I've gone through all that, what have you been watching?
Let's see. In our little hiatus, which our audience want to know, which, well, obviously they do know.
They now know.
They now know. The cat's out of the bag!
Or is it the Flurgan?
Or is it the Flurgan? I don't know. What do you think, Goose? He's not saying it. The only thing I've really watched, I watched Gravity, which is going to be another...
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I bought a few movies from Disney Movie Club. And so they came in, and so I had the 2-disc Lilo and Stitch Big Wave Edition, which is the only place you basically find deleted scenes and documentaries and just a plethora of good stuff for this film. Because the cut we get is a lot different than what the cut originally was. Because obviously this movie was made in 2002. It was
made right before 9/11.
Yeah, it was,
and they made some changes to make in the climax to make it less trigger.
Yeah, triggery. But I got that, and I had ordered The Great Mouse Detective with it. I didn't get Great Mouse.
What did you get?
Oh, what was it?
I swear, if you say Incredibles 2.
No, The Good Dinosaur.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I still have to get back with...
That's one I'm wanting to do sometime next year.
Okay.
If I didn't already have it on the list.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that was the... I think I wanted watching Lilo and Stitch Let Me Do Twice because I absolutely love Lilo and Stitch.
All right. I don't know what that was.
No, apparently apparently in some foreign alien language, it means something very gross.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But, yeah. So...
What's in the news?
All right.
Because you actually did the news this week.
Yes, I did. I actually have quite a bit of news, actually. So, all right. So, a week from today...
Or from recording this.
Yeah, we're recording on November 5th.
Yes. On November 12th is when this occurs.
Yeah. Disney Plus will finally be launched.
Don't be surprised if you hear the cat from outer space playing in the background of the next episode.
So yeah. So as I wrote here, ready your favorite childhood snack and drink and get ready for many hours of lounging on the couch. Because that's what probably a lot of people are going to be doing. Taking a week off, enjoying their favorite cartoons from their childhood.
I'm not going to
reminiscing.
I'm not going to take a week off primarily because I don't have any vacation time left.
Right.
I will be praying for freeze. Which the way that our weather around here has been, it's very likely.
Yeah, it's very odd. Very odd.
I mean, we had one day last week.
Yeah,
the Halloween morning.
Yeah.
I had to get out and scrape my window.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Oh yeah, especially at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm freezing my butt off, and I gotta get to work. I can't wait on this thing. I hate these. Thankfully, my scraper was where I could get it.
Good,
because I had to use it for something else earlier in the year, but that's beside the point.
Yeah,
but I knew where it was. That's the main thing.
Oh, that's good.
And so, yeah.
All right, so we have Disney Plus coming out. Frozen 2. Now, mind you, this information is coming from animationmagazine.com or .net, whichever.
Something.
Something. It's on the internet.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. You'll find it. So, Frozen 2 is heating up with new TV spots, and everybody needs to chill out.
Oh wow! All the hot and cold puns.
Yes, with the
you realize he missed a prime opportunity to just tell people to let it go.
Yes. With this highly anticipated sequel blasting the theaters November 22nd, as of the day November 5th, you can now pre-order your tickets. So if you are a diehard obviously a Disney fan, Frozen fan, you might want to jump on this. You know, get your tickets early, go to your favorite cinema, theater, what have you, and reserve your tickets now because you never know. This may turn to a Star Wars thing.
That is true, which does mean me and you need to talk off air about whether we're going to wait for Jacksonville to finally get built or if we're going to just go ahead and buy tickets in Tyler.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right, so on to a second part of news. And this one's very interesting. So apparently starting November 27th with the Heritage Auction Company, you will have the chance to purchase classic Disney animated drawings from classics like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, Peter Pan, and many more from several, wait for it, legendary artists.
Why did you split legend from... I'm just curious.
How I Met Your Mother, wait for it, legendary.
Oh, I never watched that show. I'm going, what are you
Some of our fans will get it. They'll be like, yes, he did it. They'll be like, I don't get it. Anyways.
I'm not a fan of... What's his face? Anyway.
Neil Patrick Harris?
Yes.
Hey, his character was awesome in that show.
In my defense, I was about to say Neil deGrasse Tyson, so I was close. I had the Neil part.
You did have it right. So, if you are interested, now, these might cost a little... tiny, huge chunk of change.
I don't have the money for it. I can already tell you without even looking at prices.
If you are interested in viewing these amazing pieces of art,
and printing them out,
you can go to comics.ha.com to view the auction items. Or,
you're going to make the editing fun again.
Yeah, I am.
Hang on.
Me? Alright. So, if you're interested in going to look at these amazing, incredible pieces of classic art, you can go to comics.ha.com to go view these. And I've looked through a few of them. It's like, oh my gosh. If I had that kind of money, yes, I would buy one in a heartbeat. And also you can download the app of Heritage Auctions Mobile to where you can get the entire category. Yeah, not category. Go to Heritage Auction Mobile, the app, and just view the selection. View the selection of the amazing art that is being up for auction. And our final piece of news, HBO Max. All right. So apparently HBO Max is Warner Brothers' solution to Disney Plus, which will be launching in 2002 with the price tag...
2002?
No.
2020?
2020. Thank you. I'm dyslexic.
You're fine. Just making sure everyone's timetables are in good shape.
Like, wait, this came out when? All right. So it launches in 2020 with a price tag of $15 per month. Now, compared to Disney Plus's $7 a month, that's pretty steep, right? But apparently, if you already have HBO...
Which I don't.
Yeah, I think it's if you HBO Now or HBO, there is no additional price tag. And to give our audience a little sample of what is coming out on HBO Max, you have companies like Crunchyroll.
Well, that makes sense. They're owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah. You have Osby, HBO. Blah. You have Crunchyroll. Warner Brothers Entertainment, obviously.
Uh-huh.
TBS, CNN, Cartoon Network, HBO, obviously. Adult Swim, DC, obviously. Max Originals, True TV, and TNT. So,
and on top of that, that's where the entire Ghibli library is going to be streaming from now on.
Yeah, apparently.
And apparently that's where all the Looney Tunes are going to be from now on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So you have shows like Rick and Morty, Friends, Doctor Who, Top Gear, Big Bang Theory, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Awesome.
I think it was technically made by Warner Brothers.
Yes. The West Wing, and classic Warner Brothers, Casablanca, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and it's all Appendiums.
Mm-hmm. Happy
Happy Feet, Spirited Away, The Matrix, Wonder Woman, When Harry Met Sally, The Conjuring, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. So yeah,
It's interesting.
it is interesting. It's okay. There's a lot of stuff on here I really love to watch, and like a YouTuber that I like to listen to watch had said, it's like, yeah, you get the entire Looney Tunes, like their entire
library.
Thank you, their entire library, except for those that are a little, let's just say, non-PC.
Well, Disney's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
On their stuff that's not PC anymore.
Right. But it's very interesting for those who be like, it's kind of the who's going to win out at the end. Be like, is it going to be Disney Plus or HBO Max?
I don't think either group has to actually win as long as they can exist side by side without causing trouble.
Right.
What this really sounds to me is like Netflix is in for some bad times.
Oh, I agree.
Coming forward, because they, without having HBO or the Warner Brothers stuff or the Disney stuff or the 20th Century Fox stuff,
Yeah.
they're going to be stuck with Universal and Paramount.
Yeah.
Until they get their system up and running, which Comcast, I think, which owns Universal.
Yeah.
I think they're working on one now.
They already have their own app. Or their own streaming service.
Well, either way.
Yeah, so...
Technically CBS does too, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks... I feel bad for Netflix right now, because basically within a couple of years, all they're going to have is all their original shows.
Mm-hmm. And at some point, I think that's going to fall through too.
Yeah. So we might see in a couple of years the topple of Netflix possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really sad, because that's where everything started. And now everybody else is doing their own little thing.
Because no one wants to pay Netflix anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
They want control. They just want to cut out the middleman so they get the money directly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, I guess we should now move into our spoiler-free thoughts on Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. I'll let you start. Since you have already talked already, and then it'll move me.
All right. So, to use a phrase of that young people I knew for the longest time, I worked with youth for a long time, they use the phrase, meh. It's not one of those be like, I'm just kind of meh today.
Yeah.
It's not, oh my gosh, the most amazing thing in the planet, or it's not the worst.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the middle. It's kind of a meh. It's kind of a meh film. It's good. The animation's good. The characters are good. The voice acting's really good.
Yeah.
And some of it. It's just kind of, there again, meh. It's kind of
it's
like,
not bad, but it's not great.
Good. It's not bad, nor is it, fantastic. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, it's better than when I saw it 15 years ago. But I grant that to the fact that I was watching it on Cartoon Network with commercials every 10 minutes. And I know there had to be some editing in there.
Yeah.
And not knowing what I was looking at. Because that was probably would have been the first Miyazaki movie I saw was this movie. But I wasn't really into it at the time.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I think it's very well done.
Yes.
My problem is I've seen better.
Yes.
That's my main problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is not this film's fault.
No.
Because the reason this film is like that is because it was made in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the stuff that was made in the 90s is a little done better.
Yeah,
by its very nature.
Exactly.
It's not bad. It's just not great.
Yeah.
I would suggest going and watching it just because it is still a good story.
Yeah.
It's just there's some things, like the point it's getting at, and many of its characters are just done better in a later movie.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I guess then we should move on to our full spoiler-filled review.
Yes.
Of Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Mm-hmm. The English language adaptation was written by Cindy Davis Hewitt and Donald H. Hewitt, with music by Joe Hisashi. I hope I said that right. The cast includes Alison Lohman as Nausicaä. I did not notice... There was nothing in hers that jumped out at me, but I chose that she was Trace from Gamer. I didn't watch the movie, it's just I had to pick something, and at least I'd heard of that movie.
Okay, got it.
In my defense. Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick
Stewart plays Lord Yupa. Mm-hmm. He is known as playing Professor Charles Xavier in X-Men and Captain Picard in Star Trek. Which, for those who don't know, we're getting a Picard show next year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. Uma Thurman plays Kushana. That's the princess of the evil kingdom, whose name I can't think of right now.
The one arm, one arm, no legs.
Yes, it's like what was it she said? Yes, the Forest did this, and whichever man is lucky enough to wed me will see much worse. I'm going. You're gonna be alone for the rest of your life, or marry for power. I hope you have fun with that.
Yeah, sorry, lady.
Yeah, but that was played by Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
The two things that stuck out for me for her was she plays the bride in Kill Bill,
right,
and Poison Ivy in Batman and Robin.
Oh gosh!
Can you blame me? Because she is. No. She is there a better casting for Poison Ivy than her at that time? At that time, I agree with you
on that.
Yeah. Chris Sarandon played Kurotawa. That was her right hand flunky.
Oh yeah.
He was best known as for playing Prince Humperdinck in The Princess Bride.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I heard that
it's voice, the perfect role for him.
Humperdinck. Perfect.
Mito, which I didn't remember which one that one was. He was played by Edward James Olmos, who the main thing I saw is he plays Admiral William Adama in Battlestar Galactica.
Of course.
Mark Hamill,
of course,
is the mayor of Pajit, and you know what he's famous for at this point. But just to be complete, Luke Skywalker, the Joker. Moving on.
And a bunch of others.
Yes, a lot of others. Jeff Bennett played Gikuri and a Tolmekian soldier. Tolmekian, that's the name of the...
Tolmekian, okay.
That's the name of the evil empire whose name I always forget. Yeah. The main thing I saw, he played Johnny Bravo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yo.
Mm-hmm. Tress MacNeille plays Obaba. And the main thing... She's another one of those that's got a lot of voice actors.
Yeah.
The main thing I know her for is Dot Warner in Animaniacs.
Okay. Now, for my confusion, hearing it was
also, sorry, she played the voice of the Queen of Hearts in Kingdom Hearts.
Of course.
Had to throw that in there.
Okay.
So, anyway.
So, to kind of intersect with that, watching this movie the first time, listening is like, I thought it was like Omama or Obama.
No, it is Obaba.
Obaba. Okay. So
you've not had to deal with Japanese names for fortune tellers, have you?
No, I haven't.
That's that kind of alliteration of Obaba or something like that is common when they name a fortune teller character.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So she wasn't named after our 44th president.
Well, it'd be a little hard considering the time.
Yes, I know.
But anyway.
Anyway, continue.
Playing Lestelle's and Asbel's mother was Jodie Benson.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And she
played
Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
And a certain other game you like.
I was going to be nice. I already said it once. Shia LaBeouf plays Asbel. And, of course, he was Sam Witwicky in the Transformers franchise.
Yes.
Mark Silverman plays King Geal.
Okay.
And the main thing I saw that he was in was he is the voice of Rod Serling in the new Twilight Zone series. James Arnold Taylor plays Mizu.
Yes.
And he is most well known for playing Titus in Final Fantasy X, a.k.a. the Forced Laughter Dude. Ha 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 ha. That is the weirdest scene, and it's worse in the original Japanese.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, and of course, rounding out the cast, Frank Welker plays Gull.
Mm-hmm.
And since they always try to find a new one for him, in the television show Futurama, he played Nibbler.
Oh, yeah, the little...
Yeah.
Okay.
Both his little noises and when he's actually speaking in proper English.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I gotta look that up at some point.
If you've not watched Futurama, you are missing out.
I've seen a few episodes of Futurama.
No,
wait a minute. I have heard him speak before.
Yeah.
That was like, okay. And now here it's Frank Welker. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
It's Frank Welker.
Interesting.
It does have a Megatron-esque quality.
Yes.
But anyway.
All right. So, this movie was released on November 25th, 1987.
87?
Yeah, 1987.
The copyright on the disc says 84.
Well,
I'm not fighting you over this.
No.
That's just odd.
Yeah, this is from IMDb, right? That's where I got my information from. So apparently there's a gap. Either it was 84 or 87. Whichever.
Yeah. If I were to make a guess... So that's the thing with Nausicaä, not to jump in on your thing, is that there's technically another cut version of this movie that was cut for English that they called the Wind Warriors or something like that. That Hayao Miyazaki hated so much that when Disney started getting the rights to dub more of the Studio Ghibli stuff, he sent a katana to I think John Lasseter. I could be wrong on that. Engraved on the katana was the words "No cuts."
No cuts?
No cuts. I see that as a threat.
Yes! Do not destroy my film. Right. Period.
So, and that was apparently in response to what was originally done to Nausicaä.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah. So that could be when the Wind Warriors came out, that 87. I don't know.
It could have been.
Because that would fit that timetable. But anyway.
That's possible. All right. With all that said, it had a budget of 108 million yen.
Mm-hmm.
And its box office in Japan was 1.48 billion yen.
It made its money.
Yeah. In spades.
This is also technically the first film produced by Studio Ghibli. Even though Studio Ghibli was not formed in name yet. This is all the same company, but they were not known by that name. They didn't have a name really at the time. They were just a production company that made this movie for the original distributor whose name I can't think of. Let's see the disc again. Sorry. It doesn't say on here, so never mind.
All right.
Never mind.
All right. So it had a U.S. budget, presuming dubbing and that kind of stuff. It had a budget of $1 million. Its U.S. gross was $497,000. Its worldwide gross with a U.S. dub was $2 million plus.
That makes sense because I think my understanding is this film did play better in Europe and in Australia.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
admittedly, when it would have come out here was when a lot of the Studio Ghibli stuff they were kind of flooding the market a little bit. So I think that's just what caused people not to stick out for a lot of people, is it was there.
Yeah.
Essentially. And they didn't know it was any different from Castle in the Sky or Porco Rosso, or for that matter, Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright, good deal. So let's get into our likes and dislikes. It's fun.
Likes and dislikes. I love the opening sequence. The way they tell the story of they call it the 7-day fire.
Yeah.
Between tapestry, full animation, even if it's in silhouette, back to the tapestry. You get pretty much the idea that crap happened, and very badly crap happened. It's just the way that it tells that part of it before, the story itself really gets going good.
Yeah, it's epilogue.
It's just very well handled. But yeah, that's the first thing I liked.
Okay. My first like would actually be Nausicaä herself, actually. Well, she's a very interesting character. She's not, a character that we have not seen before. She's very archetype of a strong female character, like Miyazaki loves to use.
Yes.
Which I can't blame her. Can't blame him. Because I'm the exact same way. I love having a strong female character. This girl's got some skill. Let's just say that for being a princess, and for the time period which this was made, you really didn't have really strong princess characters who could fight. Yeah. Who would get into a scuffle. Who would fly around on a glider the entire time.
Yes.
So in that, I really enjoyed the part of the movie was Nausicaä. Now she does flip flop a little bit here and there with the at one point she kills 5 people after they murdered her father, and then the next scene she's crying, crying past them and be like, "Don't kill each other! Murder is wrong!" So yeah, that's maybe a flip between a good and a bad. But yeah, the girl can hold her own. I would definitely not want to get in a scrap with Nausicaä. She might kill you 3 different ways. So yeah, that was one of my likes.
Okay. My second like is all the flying you see in this movie.
Yes.
One of the other things that becomes very obvious when you're watching through Miyazaki stuff is he's in love with flying scenes as well. And this is the first time you really can get a lot of good looks at that. Between the shots of her in the glider, flying through, the forest, and all that.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Yeah, the shots there with the airships in that battle. Although in that one center, they're going, these ships are paper thin.
Yeah,
as fast as they're going down.
Oh yeah. Well, I think one of the characters would be yeah, that's what we get buying cheap planes.
It's just, I lost my train of thought. All the flying shots in this one are spectacular. Even the one flying vessel that makes absolutely no friggin' sense, which is, I think of it as the basket of a hot air balloon.
Oh,
without the balloon that is somehow carrying baby insect.
Yeah.
Over the acid lake, which thank goodness they landed on an island.
Yeah.
But
plot.
Anyway, that is the weirdest design. I don't even know how that one works.
Yeah.
But all of those shots of the flight is done very well. Yeah, that's definitely my second like.
My second will be the animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ghibli. It's Miyazaki. That style of animation. It's still fluid. It's still incredible. And not to give it knocks to the fact that it was done in the 80s. There were so many amazing films that came out in the 80s that were incredible. And this fits right along with it animation-wise. They're getting to the flying scenes, to the backgrounds were absolutely just gorgeous. Just absolutely breathtaking in some shots. The animation is just, they're again incredible. It's incredible, and it hits it out of the park like every time with Ghibli and Miyazaki films. The animation's incredible.
Okay, the third thing I liked,
okay,
specifically is the animation on the insects.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of moving parts on every single one of the insects we see in there. From the giant ohms to those other smaller giant dragonfly things to whatever it was that crash landed outside the city that they had to get back back to the forest that started calling for help.
Oh, yeah.
And near when the airship first crashed, near the town. All the design of all of those insects is done so well that the movement of these giant creatures is absolutely believable.
Yeah.
Even when you're looking and going, okay, I know how they did that. Yeah. There's a little bit of layering movement they're doing to make that thing work. And even the standard visual language of blue eyes, meaning they're docile, red eyes, meaning they're enraged.
Yeah.
To even the point when, near the end of the movie, all the ohm of the forest are raining down on the Valley of the Wind, and all you see is a black and a sea of red eyes.
Yeah.
That is an amazing shot.
Oh, yeah.
Even the last one where after she gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And you start seeing the blue eyes turning red across the entire thing.
Yes.
Somehow she has calmed them all down.
Yeah. She's not unconscious and nearly dead.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm assuming the baby must have had something to do with that because it was already calm before all that happened.
It's weird.
It's odd. And plus I'll get to the dislikes in a minute. I'm going to try and stay off of that. It's the way the animation is handled and all that bit is, and that wasn't a very important part to getting the look of this film down. Yeah. Is getting the movements of the insects to look believable and not be, just terrifying. Yeah. While still being insect-like. Which is naturally terrifying movements. Right. So, I especially enjoyed that part of it.
Okay. So, my third would be Sir Patrick Stewart's character. Yes. Oh my... I love...
Patrick Stewart wishes all his roles allowed him to swing swords like that.
Yes!
And the only reason he can do it in this one is because it's animated.
Yeah. But, the fact to be, he's the first character, I think the first character you meet. Yeah. And... it's like he's known as this legendary swordsman and no one can defeat him. Mm-hmm. And he literally takes a blade to the forearm and just nothing. Yes. Nothing phases this guy. Mm-hmm. It's like if you put Nausicaä and Stewart's character in a room, everybody's dead. Everybody's just toast. That's his character of be like he goes and wanders the land and trying to discover what was going on. Mm-hmm. Isn't he like a chief priest, a chief or something?
It's not exactly stated what he is, other than he's a legendary swordsman. Yeah. One kind of gets the feeling that, at least in the Valley of the Wind, he's like the the chief general or
that's what I keep thinking.
He's an important leader.
Mm-hmm.
He's Kenobi.
Yeah, I can see that.
Essentially, that's what he is. He's got other things he's worried about. He's really just making a pass back through town because he passed by to deliver news to King Jill.
Yeah.
That's a pretty... And while he's there, he acts in defense of the Valley of the Wind because that's his homeland.
Yes.
Or at least that's his loyalty to the ex-king.
Okay.
It's not exactly stated what he is other than he is a lord.
Yeah. There's a lot in this movie that isn't exactly explained very.
And I wonder to some degree how much of that is in the English dub.
Possibly.
And not, maybe not as obvious in the Japanese dub. As a bit of trivia, though, in response to Lord Yupa, his mounts, the giant birds.
Oh, yeah.
They are the inspiration for the chocobos in Final Fantasy.
Really? Okay, I thought it was the reverse.
No, they are those are the inspiration for the chocobos.
That makes sense.
In the Final Fantasy franchise.
Yeah.
The chocobos first showed up in Final Fantasy 2, which I believe was 1990.
Oh, okay. I do have to say is a good point. The design of their mask.
Yes.
Like every character wears, including the chocobo-like characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are really interesting because it's got this big gowls down here.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'd be really interested how they work, but they never go into it. It's just,
it's not important to the story.
Yeah,
it's essentially a gas mask that's got, places for it to inflate while you breathe in as it filters the air coming through.
Yeah.
To keep the poison out.
Right. So, let's get into the dislikes of this show.
Okay. My first dislike is how stupidly the English dub writers think we Americans are.
Okay.
There is throughout the English dub, there are large portions of text that are being said conveniently by people who are either not on screen or are wearing those gas masks.
Right.
That are saying obvious things that, especially there in the beginning where she's going through the toxic forest and she's talking to us, but she doesn't need to talk to us. And I kind of got the feeling, admittedly, I have not gone back and listened to the Japanese dub.
Yeah.
I should have, at least during this scene. But it felt like the character's not really saying anything here because she doesn't need to say anything.
Yeah.
And as my defense on that scene is very much like the scene of Rey in The Force Awakens when she's going through the Star Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
Rey didn't need to say a word.
Yeah, it was all visual.
Throughout the entire thing. And really, Nausicaä doesn't need to say a word throughout that, but in the English dub, she won't shut up.
Yeah, that's true.
Even at one point, when she took her mask off in the forest.
Yeah.
Because I guess that was the easiest way she could communicate to them.
Yeah.
That they weren't going to die.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to let them die. And she goes and goes, I think I inhaled a bit of that gas. And nothing happens because of it.
Jeez, yes!
Because
that drove me crazy.
I am convinced that line was added in English and was not said in Japanese. I'm convinced that's the case.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, why did you say anything? I would have passed and no one would have cared.
Yeah, that plot point is never brought up.
Yes.
It's just like...
That's got to be something added in the English dub.
Exactly.
And for whatever reason, they added it and then didn't take it back out when it had nothing to do with what was going to go on because she wasn't poisoned. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
What's your first thing you didn't like?
My first one was... the Warriors. The Warriors and they build these characters up to be so monumental. You see their petrified or their skeleton remains all over the place.
Yes.
Everybody talks about them, how they're legendary, they destroyed the world, and we need to use them to destroy the bugs, and we finally get to see one in action, and it's...
Incomplete.
And it melts. Like, it's like, then why would... Yeah, I understand you're trying to build a mythos about something.
Admittedly, them being in the lore as to and, their skeletal remains being around there. That was fine.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay, that happened. They're gone now, and all that's remaining is the skeletons and all that.
Yeah.
And to some degree, it works that the country of Pajit, unearthing one that happens to still be alive, that starts off the whole thing, makes sense to me.
Right.
But the fact that, and it makes sense that, the what is the name of the country again? Tamekian?
Tamekian. It's not a Dragon Ball Z character.
I know. Wasn't going to say it was.
Namekian.
Tolmekian.
Yeah.
It makes sense that the Tolmekians would, as they took control of it, go ahead and start trying to resurrect it.
Yeah.
And to some degree, it makes sense that when everything is hitting at its worst, you would at least try to use all the weapons you have, which includes the warrior, even though it's not finished yet. But it's just so disappointing.
It is. It's just
in how that turns out.
Yeah, it's cool that it fires this huge blast, blast all the bugs.
Yeah.
It's and then it just falls apart. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Because I was expecting this enormous monster to come out of nowhere, tall, powerful, and then you see this thing just is falling apart while it's trying to move.
I can tell you why you're expecting that, and I think you know why.
Why is that?
This movie, we've hinted at that there was another movie that came out after this one that did what this movie did, but better.
Yes.
That movie is Princess Mononoke.
Okay. Yes.
It came out in 92, 93? What's it say on the back of that? It came out in the mid-90s. Because it's one of the first...
1997.
97. So it's about 10 to 15 years after this one does.
Yes.
It has a lot of the same characters.
Oh, yeah.
Just with different names.
Yeah,
a lot of the same themes. You just trade out giant bug monsters for... Spirits. You change out the hero being the guy instead of the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you change out the Tolmekians for people with with the worst dregs of humanity.
Yeah.
In Irontown, and just for fun, we're gonna let you kill the god of the forest.
Yeah.
And he's gonna turn into a giant monster thing to attack and actually do what the warrior didn't get to do in this movie.
Yeah.
I hate bringing up another movie in the middle of the review for obviously a movie that was, older.
Yeah.
It couldn't do all the stuff that Mononoke could do.
Yes.
And that is not fair to Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind.
Agreed.
It's just, I saw Mononoke... I'm not going to say I saw Mononoke first, because I saw Nausicaä first, technically.
Yeah.
But Mononoke makes such a good impression on me that, and knowing it's made by the same people, I can't look at that and go, this is Mononoke before they really were up to Mononoke.
Yeah, I was kind of the reverse, because I saw Mononoke first. Mm-hmm. And when I saw Nausicaä, it's like, okay, this is almost a reskinning and flipping of that film.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So my second dislike...
Yes. What is your second dislike?
My second dislike is... I don't like the pollution. The toxic forest.
Yes.
I understand it sits between the three countries. It's the main thing separating the three countries from each other.
Yeah.
Because they can't go through it without, getting killed from the toxicity.
Or the bugs.
I
hate bugs.
And because the three nations grew up separate from one another, in different situations. Because you got Pajit out in the desert. Mm-hmm. We don't get to see where the Tolmekians are from, but I'm going to make an assumption it's a very urban environment. Mm-hmm. Very warlike environment. And then you've got... Yeah, pretty much. And then you've got the Valley of the Wind, which is in apparently the one place in the entire flippin' world where regular plants can grow at the moment.
Right.
Because the winds are always blowing through and blowing the poison out.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of.
But at the same time, I'm still going, okay, this is just the promised land, and this is Eden that's about to get ruined due to the hate and anger of man.
Yeah.
It's kind of how they picture that. Because
the earth is angry.
It's what you run into when you get these very environmental things where they're not trying to force environmentalism down your throat, but it's the center of the problems. Yeah. Is all what everyone did 500 years ago, however long ago.
500 years ago.
And now we're trying to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And we don't know enough about what's going on to even know to make the right decision.
Right.
I understand why people would ignore Nausicaä on what she's trying to say, because throughout almost the entire movie, she comes across as a child.
Pretty much.
That's the best way I know how to put it. She is the one who actually knows what's going on, don't get me wrong, because she has gone to the trouble of growing those plants in good soil.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I do like about her.
I do like that part of it, but you then got her going, I've never dealt with my own hate before, and I go so angry when they killed Father. So now I tried to kill them, and that scared me so much, I'm now going to say, no one's allowed to kill! No one should die!
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get what you're saying, and I know that and I'm still going to blame the English dub on this one, too, for being honest.
Yeah.
I know that the anger and the hate and the killing is what attracts the insects.
Yeah.
So that's why it makes sense why they need to stop all the hurting and the killing.
Yeah.
And I'm still sitting there going, has no one else observed that these bugs are attracted by violence?
Apparently not.
Has nobody noticed this? Except for the Valley of the Wind, where they don't burn tremendously. They just burn with small fires.
Yeah.
And it's like, how stupid are the other countries that they have not noticed that the one country that's got green trees and green grass and plants and good food and I'm assuming clear water.
Yeah.
I assume that's a problem elsewhere. I don't know. That perhaps what they're doing might be what we need to be doing over here. No, we're going to burn everything. We're going to burn the forest down. Excuse me. It's just the logic of pig-headed people bugs me.
I understand.
But anyway. So what was your second thing? You didn't
I think you tapped on it earlier.
Pig-headed people?
No, this isn't, it's more along the lines of, you pointed out earlier the fact that there's such a similarity between Princess Mononoke and Nausicaä. Mm-hmm. That was one thing, because they're going to be like, I watched Mononoke first.
Yes.
And so now I have this comparison going on in my head. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, Mononoke did this a lot better.
And I'll grant you, I agree with that sentiment. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's fair to Nausicaä to hold it up to it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because there's, like I said earlier, there's 10 to 15 years of advancement in the craft.
Yes.
Of this studio, so.
Yeah. There again, be like, my first viewing was actually Mononoke. So you'd be like, I naturally went there. It's like, this is a reskinning of this film. But.
Other way around and
slightly flipped. Mm-hmm. But it's just like that was one of the nitpicks about watching this film. I kept comparing it to Mononoke. That was one of my it's one of those meh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just hard to like something when you've seen something do what that movie's doing but better.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't there again, it's not a terrible film. It's just I had Mononoke sitting very firmly in the back of my head watching this. Mm-hmm. All right, so what is your number 3?
The third thing I didn't like. Why on earth did they give her a pink dress when she's been wearing blue this entire flippin' movie? Only so that when the bug bleeds on her, it turns blue again. So that by the end, she's obviously the man in blue in
Oh,
the field of gold.
Good night,
It's like,
yes.
just let her wear her normal clothes. I understand that she had to change clothes in order to sneak off the ship.
Yeah.
I get that. And honestly, I do like her costume I do like her Paget dress design. That's a cool looking design, especially after the bug bloods got on it.
Yeah.
I have to ask, if you're going to have that quote unquote twist at the end, why do you have her wear blue the rest of the movie? Because the only time she wears something that's not blue is when she first gets the dress from the Paget princess.
Yeah. Mother.
And it's pink.
Yeah.
And it somehow turns blue when the bug blood gets on it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which I don't think dyes work that way.
No, they don't.
Unless it's just like a very thin blood. It's odd. And plus, the only way Baba, or whatever her name is, Obaba, knows this because the little girl's quoted the prophecy back to her. It's like, she's wearing a blue dress that I've never seen before, and she looks like she's in a field of gold. It's like, do I need this spelled out? Do I really need this? Because this is not something I can blame the English dub on. No. This is very obvious how the Japanese... What wasn't the Japanese was going, explain what she looks like. Oh, she's wearing a blue dress. Oh, my word.
It's like, really?
The Japanese surely didn't need that explained to them.
No.
Like they're 5.
And plus that first scene, you see Nausicaä, and
she's wearing blue. Oh, what's the legend? A man in blue.
Yeah.
In a field of gold.
And she's sitting in a field of green. It's like,
she's
our main character.
It's obviously not her. She's a girl, not a man.
Yeah.
For those who are not Jacob, I just did a weird hand movement that showed my frustration with stuff. Anyway.
So my number 3 kind of compounds a lot of it. The story seems to wander a lot. It'd be like it's going through. It'd be like the war.
It's got 3 different plot lines it's following the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. It has those 3 plot lines you're kind of just weaving through, and it's got that, and then it just ends with no solid conclusion.
Yeah.
It's
because at the end of the movie, we have no conclusion to the war, really.
Yeah, there's no conclusion.
B, we have no idea how they got out of the field of Ohm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Ohm are nice and all, but now they're just sitting there. And somehow lifting her up on those glowy yellow tendrils.
Yes, that never made sense.
Because I'm going, how strong are those tendrils? But she's able to walk around like she's on flat ground.
Yeah. That made 0 sense.
It should be like she's trying to walk on a raft in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And the raft is loose. That's how it should look.
Yes.
And yet she's just walking like it's dragging. It's like...
I understand where they're going with it, but from a physical standpoint and an animation standpoint, she should not be able to do that.
Yes. It's just... And plus, can you just imagine all those tendrils holding you up, what that's got to feel like?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
It can't be pleasant.
No, it can't.
But anyway, especially after that one scene where it completely engulfed her like a cocoon.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, the Paget prince is alive. Let's go save him. What? You're saving him from the people who just told you he's alive. And they hate him because he's shooting his gun because he's in self-defense mode.
If you can tell that Drew is kind of frustrated.
It's not frustration. It's just there are a lot of decisions in this story that I'm just in the writing of this story.
Yes.
That while they make sense, I'm still sitting there going, really?
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're going with this? But anyway.
Yeah. So, with how this movie ends is that the bugs, I'm going to call them.
Yes.
The bugs be like, their eyes go all blue because Nausicaä has
somehow calmed them by sacrificing herself, by standing in front of them while they're charging at her, and she gets knocked 100 yards into the air.
Yeah.
Along with the baby Ohm she just saved.
Yeah.
And
we don't care about you, kid.
Like, wham! Yeah, it's like, it makes sense. They're enraged. They don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden, somehow, they get knocked up in the air. The camera goes wide to see all this. All of a sudden, the blue starts spreading out as the Ohm are calming down. It's like, how and why?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
How and why. And then they just all... They disperse and like everybody goes about their life.
Because
like,
the baby Ohm should be dead.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so should she.
But no, they have to build this scene up to where
it's
the prophecy.
Yeah, she fulfilled the prophecy. What does that mean? We don't know. Here's the credits.
It's like
what was she? What did she do? What was the all it said was he would the man named Blue in the Field of Gold would show up. And she did that. And she did that. It's like, but what was he there to do? Was he there to stop the insects? Was he there to stop a war from brewing?
Yeah, to be our salvation?
Was he just there to hang out and have fun?
I'm the fourth Blue Man Group. Come on, let's go.
It's just,
yeah, it's got a very weird.
I don't want people to get the wrong idea that I did not enjoy this movie.
Yes.
Because I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's just, there are some things that when I think about it after the fact, I'm going, really? Really? This is where we're going?
I actually had two. My three turned into like two other points. So
go ahead.
All right. So this one's gonna be a little bit odd. So was Nausicaä wearing pants?
No, she wasn't. She was not wearing underwear.
Well, I mean,
there is one shot where you can see her. It's while she's still in her regular clothes.
Yeah,
and the wind kind of just blows it up, and you kind of just see that it goes. Her legs go up quite a ways with nothing blocking them. So you're going, oh my goodness, she's not wearing any underwear. And then the thought crosses you, wait a minute, every time she's in that glider and she's holding herself up, anyone behind her has got a clear view.
Well, obviously.
Including all the people in that barge.
So she's mooning everybody.
The entire movie.
Well, I actually had to, because I saw that first when she meets Patrick Stewart's character.
Yes.
She goes up and hugs him, and it gets that big wide shot of her. She's coming in and be like from a rear perspective, and I'm like, "There's no way on earth they're doing that." And so we have to pause it,
back up, and going, "Oh my word!"
No, it's.
I've heard of panty shots before, but at least those have panties.
Well, the way it's animated, because you would see how. Because if it was actually just human skin, it'd be like you'd see human skin.
Yeah.
But you actually see some curve into, like, when it goes into, like, the, it looks like she's wearing, like, some kind of...
She's wearing something, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's her skin tone.
Yeah.
It's her skin tone. I'm just like, that was the weird... It was like...
It almost feels like they weren't originally intending to put anything there, and at the last minute they thought... Guys, we need to cover this up a little bit. Can we just draw two little lines and be done? It's like, oh, sure.
Yeah. Make it simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throw that on the other 100 frames and we're done.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we only did this the one time.
Yeah. But that was the weirdest. It was like, is Nausicaä wearing pants? That was weird.
She just needed to have a pair of shorts on underneath that.
Yeah.
Thing, and no one would have cared.
They could have been in white. Who cares?
No, I'm saying go ahead and make it blues just so you're not going, oh, there's a panty shot.
Yeah. Anyways, so kind of the boil of this story down to its essence is that humans are bad, nature is good, humans must die. In a sense.
No, it's trying to show we should be living in harmony with nature.
Yes.
It's not saying humans must die. It's just, of course the bugs are attacking because we dared to bring the warrior back to life. We don't deserve to live when we try to win with those tactics. Thinking, you did not bring the warrior back to life. The Tolmekians brought the warrior back to life. It ain't your fault. They're the only one. They and the Pedgites are the only two people who should even, quote unquote, be punished by nature.
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't even shown up, y'all would still be living in peace.
Yeah.
Be angry at them, not at you.
Yeah.
You are defending yourself against idiots.
Yeah.
Who aren't paying attention. Who are more worried about power and being the ones in control than doing what's right for their country.
Yeah, like you said, pig-headed.
They're very pig-headed. But anyway.
That kind of reminded me of the mask because it kind of looked like Will Snap.
Moving right along. So, we should go ahead and give our ratings for this movie.
All right.
And believe it or not, I'm giving this movie an 8.
All right.
I know it sounds like I've complained about a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
And I've frustrated with some plot points.
Mm-hmm.
Most of that comes from sitting around and thinking about it after the fact.
Yeah.
During the movie itself, it is perfectly fine. It flows naturally. The logic makes sense.
Yes.
It made sense to me.
Okay.
And it's a fun ride.
I agree with you there. It was a fun ride.
It's just when I look back on it and go, okay, y'all could have saved a lot of time if evil princess of the Tolmekians would have just used her brain in the beginning of it instead of, I'll hold off till the princess gets here. Oh, I'm tired. Let's go attack. Oh, no, wait. The plane is landing in front of us. Why are you firing, you idiot? You told them to fire. What the crap are you doing, lady?
They can't make up their mind of this movie.
Yes, it's like, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go off stupid if I keep going off this. And I still want to point out to people, I liked this movie. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I had a good time. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7. I thought about giving it a lower number, but I was like, no. Even though I see there's a lot of plot problems in this film. And I enjoyed it for the most part. And the movie itself would just drag. And it would just be like, okay, I'm slogging through this film. I'm no longer having fun with this film.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get through it. And it's one of those films where, okay, I've watched it. I can tell people, hey, I've watched the film. I can give my critique of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is the kind of film I'm going to ever, pick up again. It's not like Mononoke that pick up. It's like, oh, I would definitely watch that again.
Yeah.
Probably not with Nausicaä.
Mm-hmm.
There again, it's a good film. I mean, it's a good, solid Ghibli, Miyazaki film.
Mm-hmm. And this is the film that essentially built Studio Ghibli. So you got to give it props for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is their Snow White.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Snow White is the movie that built Disney.
Yes.
So this is essentially their Snow White for Studio Ghibli.
Agreed. Yeah, so yeah, I would definitely give it a 7. It's, there again, it does have its problems as a film. And yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. Once, maybe our audience would enjoy it and probably want to watch it again. For me personally, I'll watch it and I enjoyed it for what it was. I may revisit it in another time, but not probably anytime soon.
All right.
All right.
Well, as a little bit of studio audience participation, many of you may have noticed I finally started a Facebook page to go along with our group. And on that page, I posted the question that said, we're recording our episode on Nausicaä, the Valley of the Wind tonight, and it's coming out this Saturday. If you've seen it, what are y'all's thoughts on this movie? We had one person actually respond.
Really?
Yes. Logan Sharp, who is the host of another show called The Reformed Gamers.
Okay.
He responded with, "This was my first Studio Ghibli film, and I thought it was incredible. The pacing may have been inconsistent, but the animation, story, and characters were all captivating."
Okay, then.
So, I will do my best moving forward to post a similar question the day we're recording, first thing in the morning. So, please keep a lookout for that on Tuesdays. To if you want to voice your opinion on the movie we're going to be recording that night.
Yeah. And your post will be read.
Hopefully. If there's not a buttload and I've got to pick stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I can probably imagine in the future we do a very, very popular movie and then everybody's like
it's like, well, I've got 100 comments here. I can't read all of them.
We'd be here all night.
Yes. So, that brings us to the end of another episode.
Well, I gotta say, like, is it family friendly?
Yes, because we didn't talk about that earlier.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think it is family friendly. There's not any cursing in here at all. There's not. I mean, the bugs can be maybe a little bit scary for our younger viewers.
Yeah,
but I think they're fine.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It's got a lot of violence because it is war.
Yeah,
and but yeah,
I don't remember outside of the bug blood.
Yeah.
In that one scene, I don't think there's any other blood.
Not that I can recall. Be like there might be, but it's definitely family friendly. There again, be like your children might be like, I don't get it. In some ways, but yeah, it's definitely family friendly, and I think for a family you might want to watch it. I think if I was to watch it as a kid, I would have been like, okay, cool. Oh, something else to do.
Yeah.
That'd been me. But, yeah. So, yeah, definitely family friendly.
All right. Well, that does bring us to the end of another episode of the Cellcast.
Yes, it does.
Under normal circumstances, we would be rolling at this point. But because we are in the middle of Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli month.
Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the next movie that we are going to be reviewing is Castle in the Sky.
Ah.
It's a fun one.
Gotcha.
So
looking forward to it.
Keep an eye out for that one. Where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, and my personal art page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I attempt to, with air quotes, try to draw every day, which I don't get to as much anymore. But I'm slowly getting back into the rhythm of it. And you can find me on Twitter at Jacob B. Heron. And I don't think it's anywhere a place you can find me, but that's all I've got. What do you got?
You can find me on Facebook under Drew Dodgen. You can also find me over You can also find my personal photography page over at Drew's Photo Bin, where I try to post pictures regularly. Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, there will be There'll be some new posts out there from my vacation.
Excellent.
So keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ggeorge759.
Okay.
You can find both of us, however, at our website, thecellcast.podbean.com. There you will find links to listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Apple, and Google Play.
Yes.
And I said iTunes earlier. I meant Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Anyway. Also there you will find a link to join our closed Facebook group. We keep it closed to keep the bugs out.
Yeah. The toxic bugs out.
The toxic forest.
Yeah.
We don't need any toxicity in that group.
Yeah. Toxic love.
Toxic rain. That's not how it goes at all. You can also email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And keep in mind, every time you hear us say the Cellcast, that is with a single L in cell.
And so if you have any comments or anything you want to, a movie you might want to recommend in the future, be just post it to our social media links. And we do have a Twitter.
Yes, we do have a Twitter at @cast_cell.
All right. And so if you do have any suggestions, or you want to rank or give us your personal opinion about a past film or a film we're doing, or just a film you really enjoyed, or maybe a suggestion or two, hit us up on social media. And so if you like our podcast, you like what we do. Sorry, like blah. If you like what we do here, give us a like, share us with a friend or two, or 20 or 30, and
30.
And get the word spreading about what we do here, and get this community to grow further and further and further to where we can have a community of, or as I like to say it, like a Stone Nation.
Yes.
So,
and we're not asking y'all to do all the work. We are doing things to get our name out there. That's part of the reason the page. I started the Facebook page. I'm going to be doing my best to post something daily.
Yeah.
It might just be a stupid meme.
Oh yeah,
like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Hey, those are always fun.
And I'll admit, that's mostly what I know opera from is Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Of course.
So, just go ahead and please go and like us on that page, because the more likes we get, the more chances that will be suggested to other people, and you can invite them to like too, I believe.
Yeah.
So getting people to like our Facebook page will hopefully get them to listening to the show, which may get them in the group, so that we can then be one big happy community.
Yeah. Of animation nerds.
Yes. So I think that's going to be it, unless you can think of anything else.
I think I'm drawing a blank.
All right. Well, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame.
Next time on
The Cellcast.
One day, everything changed. I'm not sure how I survived. I was all alone.
Looks like a body. Well, the way you fell from the sky, I thought that maybe you were an angel or something.
What?
Yeah, I had to catch you. It's Laputa, a floating island.
An island that floats in the sky?
Yep. Most people think it's just a legend, but my dad actually saw it. Nobody believed him. I am going to prove that my dad was no liar.
Look, my stone's glowing. It's been in my family as long as I can remember.
That crystal is extremely powerful.
Huh?
Lady, come back here!
There are pirates chasing us, and the army's right behind them.
I want that pistol! Somebody's got to protect your friend. It's my fault getting you mixed up in all of this.
Are you kidding? This is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me.
You've bungled things, sir, and now I must fix them.
I wonder who that guy is and what he's doing with the army.
To try to use the crystal's power for selfish reasons will bring great unhappiness.
You know, the odds are against you.
They simply don't understand. The same technology that kept Laputa airborne also made it a major power that once dominated the entire planet.
Shoot anyone who resists!
What will we do?
Come on. Beyond that cloud is a floating city that no one here on Earth believes exists.
We're going in! We have an emergency.
Hands up!
The way to Laputa has been opened!
Arrest him!
Please let me come with you. I need to save her.
I'm telling you, this thing is alive!
Stop it! You're destroying everything!
The Earth speaks to all of us, and if we listen, we can understand.